T-minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Evening, guys and dolls. Welcome back to Honey Badger 3D Print and Paint. I'm James, your host, once described. That's it. And I'm joined by Mike. Mike once asked his wife if she would call him Master, so she dressed up like Dobby and kept chasing him around the bedroom trying to steal his socks.
She's quite short as well.
Back to two of us. And she's quite short. So that works on a lot of levels.
She's also quite thievy.
He says, yeah, and she is quite thievy. That is fair. Exploring with Matt. Just watch the Green Goblin 200% video. Wow. So, Matt, I want to let you know that created a real emotional gap between me and my wife. So she hates that. She doesn't like it. It's up here. I've taken the base off because if I don't, it doesn't fit in my garage. So that's fun.
Still also doesn't fit on screen. Yeah,
it actually doesn't fit on screen. One of the best parts of this is its face, and you can't see it. So today we are taking a look the other way. There we go. The Ender 3 S1 Pro. Now, let me be very clear about something before we start. Creality did not send us this machine. This machine was sent to us by a third-party promoter called Link Buyer. So was the mask in the smoke part of the design? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's tucked in. It's tucked in there somewhere. You can't see it unless you're actually looming over it. You can't see in. So Link Buyer work for Geek Buyer. Geek Buyer are the ones that are selling this machine. This was not sent to us by Creality, but we did not pay for the machine. Okay, so fun facts. Let's get it open. So the Ender 3 S1 Pro, we have said a few times that we were never really keen about working with Creality. So this has been a fun way to get a machine without working with Creality. Look, I mean, so much like a lot of people, we started with the Ender 3. It was one of our first machines. My first machine was a Flash Forge. Then Mike, actually, I think yours was the S4 first, wasn't it?
No, XYZ DaVinci Pro.
That's right. No, you had the XYZ first. Okay, fair enough. So no, it wasn't one of our first machines.
But then I bought the S4.
So we have had. I want to say we've had. I bought an Ender 6 box for Sue, but I hope to redeem myself. Rick. This is why you void warranties, Rick. This is the problem. Hello, Scotty. So, okay. So, I mean, look, Ender 3s. I reckon we've had 10 Ender 3s on the channel.
Well, we bought one just to do that.
So the belt conversion. We bought an Ender 3 literally just to. Literally, we bought it just so that we could do this conversion.
At this point, I'm fed up of buying Enders.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of over it, if I'm honest.
I've bought more than any person needs, and I feel like one is more than anyone needs.
So, okay, so the Ender 3 S1 Pro. Okay, so let's talk about it. So first and foremost, So it's got a 300-degree hot end. It has their sprite extruder. Some people love the sprite extruder. Other people feel very differently about it. I haven't used the sprite extruder yet, so I don't know what it's going to be like. I'm glad they've redesigned it. I don't know whether or not it's going to be any good. I know they actually have a touchscreen on this, not a touchscreen of lies. So the other Ender 3 had what looked like a touchscreen, but still had a click wheel, just to really mug you off. So this does actually have an actual touchscreen. It has a magnetic bed, has some cool little drawers in it. Apparently, it's got an LED light for clear observation. It also has a CR touch. What else? It is apparently very quick to assemble. We'll see about that. Obviously, it's a 32-bit board. It has silent stepper drivers, filament sensor, resume printing, all of that sort of stuff. They do also say it's compatible with the laser engraving. I highly recommend you don't do that. If you want PEI bed, I will find out if it's a PEI bed, Matt. We'll find out in a second. So we get a completely useless ream of generic no-name filaments that is roughly enough. I mean, if I cough, the sheer amount that I print and inhale on a daily basis, I cough more filament than that. So that can just go over in the corner. It is a PEI bed. Well, it's flexible spring steel, so I don't know what it is. So they're the bolts. We get the obligatory set of... These feel very small. I can't get these out of the box. Oh, my God. Why is this the hardest part? Oh, no, there we go. Yep, generic clippers. We get a nozzle cleaner. We get the normal set of Allen keys and spanners. And then we get a spare nozzle and a SD card reader with a nice big SD card in it. We get a piece of paper that says... Oh, it's just a material guide. Okay, that's fun. Okay, so first block comes out. In here we have some... Oh, a spatula. Spatula and thingy, which I just dropped. We've got the touch screen. Does it come with good customer support out of the box? No. Can you check and see if it has ferrules opposed to tin wires with solder? Oh, I can indeed. The Sprite extruder. Then we have the filament holder and the filament holder peg thing. So we just go like that. Nice filament holder. Comes with a filament sensor. That can go over there. We have the top gantry, which has, as you can see, an LED light on it. It says very clearly not to press it. Nice peel. Is this the Pro? It is indeed the Pro. So the difference for the Pro, as far as I can tell, is that you actually get a touch screen and you get the flexible PEI sheet. Seems to be about the only difference I can tell. Maybe it's the hot end as well, but we will see. So pop that down there for a minute. We get some stickers, which I don't know who on earth is sticking those stickers on their stuff, but fair enough. We've got a quick installation guide. We've got a warranty card. That's fun. What a fun little joke they all included. Look at that. Oh, it's even long. Oh, you can fill it out. Oh, that's
a list of all the stuff that's not included in it.
Yeah. If you fill it out and you post it off, they will literally spit an envelope and send it back. So that's nice to them. So, okay. So, yeah, quick installation guide, all the normal stuff. We've got a British plug. Look at that. Useless junk. Some useless junk. So, we have the spring steel plate. So that's nice. I'll stop waving that about. Let's get this out of here. Cool. Out of the box. Oh, well, there's absolutely no space behind here. I have a Pro in my basket. Should I wait for Black Friday? Absolutely, you should wait for Black Friday. Not just because I'm a horrendous consumer and part of the problem, but also because I mean, look, I don't know if Geek Buyer are going to do any stuff. I can almost guarantee they will do some sort of deal, even if it's 10% off of 5% off of everything on the platform. They'll do something. So I would absolutely wait. So before we put this together, we're going to go the opposite. And just for square peg, we are going to open this bad boy up. And hold on, there we go. We're going to open this bad boy up and we're going to take a little peek at the internals because, hey, we look like qualified people, so we can we can just take stuff apart randomly and put it back together again, can't we? We've done it before. It's never gone well, but who knows? New toolkit, James. No, this is the one I was using. I got this for the... Mike, do you want to mute if you're using the airbrush? Do you want to mute your...
I'm done now. I've been cleaning it.
Okay. Oh, well, this is impossible to get out. Is it pushed? Oh, there we go. Okay, fine. So let's have... Yeah, that's loud.
Yeah.
Did you do that directly into the microphone?
That's not even anywhere near it.
Oh, cool. Right. So, yes, we have ferrules. So I probably can't show you on the camera setup that we have. We are looking at sorting that out. With a deal now and the PayPal, it's 361. So let me and that's euros, is it? So let me just have a look on there. Europe store and the printers. I mean, that's not bad. So if you buy it direct from Creality's store, right now it's 529 euros for the Ender 3 Pro. So if you've got it on Geek Buyer for 361, I'd go for that for sure. So it's definitely ferrules on the power. Everything as normal is pretty well hot glued in. They've actually grounded the board here to the frame, which I think is probably the first time I've seen that. And I'll say this, it's probably one of the neater interiors that I've seen Creality do. Now, let me caveat that by saying that Creality didn't design this printer. So yes, they've done very well in the sense that they have managed to recreate something that somebody else told them how to build. Oh, that goes in there like that. So this is a complaint that I have. You guys have a referral, so you get something. We do not have a referral on this. If you buy from Geek Buyer, you are absolutely, you know, we bought through Geek Buyer ourselves. You're absolutely going to get what you paid for. We don't get any kickbacks. So all they did was they gave us this machine, which, just so we're all clear, we will be giving away. Not because it's a bad machine, simply because we don't have the space. So we have recently, I say recently, last month, we hit 10,000 subscribers. That's absolutely huge for us. We are two normal blokes who just enjoy 3D printing well, I mean, yeah, I mean, normal. We can legally call ourselves normal, I think, so that's fine. You know, we've had a huge amount of support from the community over the last sort of 2 years of building the channel. So, yeah, I mean, honestly, we will not be keeping this. We'll do the review, but that's bad. I would have used it. No worries, Peter. Honestly, you don't need to use that. It's not why we do the channel. We do the channel so we get access to cool stuff. We can bring you cool stuff. We can show you cool things. We've only got a 9K. So for anybody who's new, go over and check out 3DP UK's channel. He is an excellent creator, doing a lot of really cool stuff. Oh, they've got a holographic sticker on the front.
Kane, send us a message and I'll send you a link of somewhere is a good way to learn to paint faces.
So, okay, so let's get... So Peter just saying, I'll grab a handle on the bed. A grab handle on the bed. Indeed, a grab handle on the bed. So let's just get this lined up. Pull out these. So look, I mean, we tend to rag on Creality quite a lot. Evolution Studios, hello. Do you have planning permission for the neon sign? My brother-in-law asked. It's not neon. It's LED strip. But thanks for grassing us into a planner. Jesus. So, Ender 3 and Creality, we have somewhat of a turbulent history with, I suppose. There's a reality that you can't escape what Creality did for the 3D printing community, right? They brought out a cost-effective 3D printer that that ultimately launched hobby-grade 3D printing, right? I mean, I know we had the likes of the Prusa i3s and things like that came out at a similar time, but they came out at a cost that a lot of people couldn't stomach. And Ender 3 is still one of the cheapest ways to ruin your family's Christmas. Like, it's, if you don't like someone and you just really can't figure out what to get them to really show them why you don't like them, buy them a Creality machine.
Yeah. It's the gift that keeps on costing.
Yeah. It's like someone buys you tropical fish and they're like, oh, just so you know, these fish need to eat special food once every 8 hours. I fed them 7 hours ago, and the nearest store is an hour and 20 minutes away. So, why won't this line up and go in? There we go. Look, at the end of the day, the reason why, and I have to say, we rag on Creality quite a lot. We do rag on Creality all the time. There is a reality that if someone was new to 3D printing and I was giving them advice on what they should buy as their first printer, I would still advise them to buy an Ender 3.
Yeah.
And the reason being is because everybody has already broken their printer, their Ender 3.
All printers are going to break.
All printers are going to break.
Easiest to fix.
They are the easiest to fix, and there's also 100 guides online on exactly how that person goes about fixing whatever issue it is that they've caused. I think that there's a reality that when when an Ender 3 breaks, for a start, every time an Ender 3 breaks, I'm pretty sure someone in China gets their wings, because it just seems like, oh, okay, well, I dropped that. Luckily, they give you spare screws. That's nice of them. It's incredibly easy. It's incredibly easy to fix an Ender 3. There's an awful lot of community support out there. There's a lot of community modifications. There's a lot of, there's just a lot of resources out there for you to learn with. You're not on your own with an Ender 3. Whereas if you get if you were to get a Sidewinder or something like that, the community that you have access to that have broken their machines is just smaller. It's just a smaller community of people. So there's less people to draw upon. You're more likely to come across someone who's rude or unpleasant or doesn't really want to help you but wants to be really smug about the fact that theirs works. They're not perfect machines by any stretch, but what they are is really, really good for beginners. The Prusa's out of my budget. So look, the Prusa's out of a lot of people's budgets, and frankly, now that the Bamboo Lab X1 is out, I would buy that over. I would suggest that over a Prusa every single day of the week. There's no scenario in which I would ever recommend anymore that somebody buys a Prusa. They've had their day in the sun, and I believe the time to sort of lust over Prusa print quality or their community or anything, I think has now well and truly passed. So we plug in these bits up here. We pick this up, flip it round. So plug this in here. So we have a nice grab handle at the front of this. I like that. We have a peel. Is it going to be a satisfying one? Don't you do it. Whoa. Yes, I like that. So just to check. Oh God, I have to put a. I'm going to put. Hold on.
James is not known for being vocal about something he dislikes, so he may go into detail about how much he hates Prusa. He may not.
Tell us how you really feel about Prusa. Okay, I'll tell you exactly how I feel about Prusa. I think they're wildly overhyped. I think that they are fine. I think the fact that you can only buy most of the spare parts directly from Prusa is a joke. I think that they don't allow a lot of places to stock those in country is a joke. And I think the idea that everybody who's gone out and drunk the Kool-Aid that's been milked directly from Josef Prusa's teats and has said that these are now gods. This God on the sixth day took a rest and Josef Prusa came along and finished off all the little itty bitty bits. That's not what happened. He got a relatively good machine and it does quality print. It does good prints. I'm not challenging that at all. But my God, I do not think it is that good. See what you did? You did. You baited me and I took it. And I'm not even sorry. Right. Anyway, there is a synchronization belt at the top of these, but both the Z motors are actually powered by motors. It's not just a belt. This clips on in theory. How does it clip on? What? Just that. Okay.
Well, that's it.
Well, I've got to screw it on.
Oh.
But like, it doesn't just sit there.
I was like, that's what you're going with.
Right. I'll tell you this. This is very similar assembly to the Vauxhall Lab Tango. It does seem to be an awful lot of screws. Where does this bit go? Let's look in the book. Or let's just look at the picture of the book and go from there.
So we have also just checked in for our flights tomorrow.
Wire clip? Wire clip for what?
We're off to Form next tomorrow, so we've just checked in and got our seats.
I don't know where that goes. Okay, there's a wire clip. It's a fun little feature. I don't know where it goes. So yeah. So anyway, so as Mike said, sorry, because I was engrossed in this. Yes, we are going to Form next this year. So yeah, there we go. Look at that. Cool. So this carries on because there's more screws. So yeah, we're going to Form next. We'll be doing a lot of filming there with some new people. There's loads of people going.
But the list is actually huge.
The list is huge, yeah.
Granted, some of it's in German, so we don't know what they are.
but they sound really excited. So that's good. Where does that go? Oh, this goes underneath, doesn't it? Does it go in there? Okay, yes, it does. Okay, and then this plugs into.
No, we don't have a Discord.
Honestly, I struggle with just making enough time to post on on everything we post on at the moment. The idea of running a Discord as well might actually break me emotionally. Okay, so that I tell you what, that is very securely in. Okay. Time, 24 minutes. And that was with talking about sponsors. Come on.
This actually takes up much more time than we've actually got.
So we've got X and Y belt tensioners, which I am just checking the tension on. Yeah, I like that. Let's immediately plug it in. So just to be clear, it is not an automatically switching power supply. So there is a switch on the back. If you are not 240 volts like the Freedom electricity that we have here, and you're on some sort of archaic, tiny other voltage, you'll need to change it. Otherwise, it won't work. Let's turn it on. Oh, there was a real minute there where I was like, oh, no. Cool. Right. We get a full-size SD card. Look at that. And then that pops into there like that. Right. Readouts are all good. Home X and Y. Works. Home Z. See if the CR Touch works. It looks suspiciously like it might.
Well, it's not on fire.
What's the difference between my ex-wife and a terrorist? You can negotiate with a terrorist. Oh, just as a small FYI. Turns out the last video that we had, the last live stream that we did, the Voxel Lab Aquila D1, we said something on that upset YouTube, and that's been restricted. So I don't know who it was. I think we can all agree it was Matt German. But whoever it was, whether it was Matt German, who it was, or whether it was someone else when it wasn't, because it was Matt, but whoever it was, there's a good chance that that he said something that upset YouTube greatly. So we got restricted on that video. So that was really nice. Level, start. So this is basically a BL Touch that that Creality stole the design of and then painted it black and said it was theirs. So that was really fun. Then there's, look, so I can say this is a really nice, what did he say, lithophane? Probably, and he probably said it.
It was probably all his advertising.
Yeah. Start. There we go. So that should go around and do its bed leveling. Oh, it doesn't probe them all 3 times, surely. Oh, God. Oh, it does. What's your advice on leveling the bed first manual and then first auto level? So I always do it. Well, again, I appreciate I've not just done it then. You have caught me out there. Fair play. CR Touch works better than a BL Touch, has more consistent results, especially in a heated chamber. It just rattles. So I'm not really a fan of the BL Touch. If I'm perfectly honest, I use inductive probes at this point because, frankly, I find them to be way more consistent and they last longer. When we're talking about advice on leveling the bed, normally I would level the bed first, paper test, and then I would go round and I would get it to do I'd then get it to do the old point leveling system. The reason for that,
someone who doesn't know what they're doing is going to get it out of the box, know it's auto level, and turn the auto level on. So
yeah, so there's a reason for that, and the reason for that is that normally what is happening. So with a machine like this, a regular Cartesian, when it's building a mesh like this, the mesh that it creates is compensating for a mechanical issue. The mechanical issue is that the bed isn't level, right? So it will probe all the points and then it will create a mesh and it will do what it can to try and smooth that out to make that a nice flat surface. It's different when you're doing that on a Core XY that has independent Z motors and all that stuff. That's different because that physically moves the bed. This one doesn't. It's still manually adjusting underneath with the regular wheels. So under normal circumstances, I would have gone through and I would have leveled it first with a bit of paper, and then I would have done I would have then done the auto level. But Creality are saying that you don't need to do that because that's not what's on their setup guide. So I am setting this up as they tell me to, which I may very well regret. This is a filament by iWe Color. It is black and red. I really like it. It gives super cool results. So I'm going to use it. Pop that up there. Pop that through there. Oh, that's a bit. Not sure I like that. That's... Right. Okay. So let's use the leveling piece of paper. I'm going to say minus 2.5. I think that's what we need. Right, okay, fine. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to go to the corners and get this so that it consistently feels on each. Because I don't like the way that that feels super. Yeah, that's really unlevel. Okay. Thought we were going to get away with it, but we aren't. So all I'm trying to do here is get it to a point where the bed is roughly level, because the auto bed level will do a decent amount of work for me, but there's only so much you can ask it to do. There we go. Right. Let's have a look here. So there's the rabbit, the cat, oh, I don't really like the sound of any of those. Let's see whether or not the Ender S Pro is... I've torn apart quite... I haven't torn them apart, but I have run them side by side in a few printers. The CRT has more repeatable results, especially in a 70 green. Oh, okay, fair enough. Thank you, Edge. I said this to James, and he's like, no, there's... Look, Nonstick, all I'm saying is that mechanically speaking, they are the same thing, right? One could be slightly more accurate than the other. I think the design is flawed. I think the idea of a BL Touch is a flawed design. I think the CR Touch is a flawed design. I think you would always get more accurate results out of an inductive sensor. That was what I meant by they're both the same. Not just... generically, they're both identical. I appreciate that they are slightly different to each other. You happy now? You happy? Right. There is an S3. There is an Ender 3 S1 profile. So I'm going to use that. So we will stick in a parts of calibration cube. We will pop that into... Oh, I took the SD card out. I don't know where I put it. No, I didn't. It's in the printer. Brilliant. Well done. That's like, oh, no. Right. Slice. Make sure supports are off, which they are. What is the material setting? Yeah, fine. Yeah, okay. Well, we'll leave everything as it is. Save to the drive. Pop this. Oh, back in. Print. Untitled. Let's see what she does. So my Z offset is saved at minus 2.50. This should go through and do its little tests. But we're sticking on a... What's your top 3 PLA filament? Oh, so at the moment,
Whatever's cheapest.
I actually do use number one. I use Sunlu. So I use Sunlu all the time. If I'm not using Sunlu, I'm using 3D Kaig, which is just a Sunlu sub brand. The only reason I use it is because the sheer amount that we print. Let's see if it engraves the plate. That'd be very upsetting if it does that, because I did just set this. So it will be my fault if it does it.
That's one of my favourite things. Once you finish the print, you put the next print on and it carves its way into the bed for no apparent reason.
Yeah, it's upsetting when that happens. I'll give you that.
Yeah,
so Peter, yeah, Sunlu. So I really like eSun, and iWeColor are doing a lot of these designs where they're these two-toned prints. These sort of two-toned filaments, and they're really cool. So I would probably say eSun, Sunlu, and iWeColor. Just because Sunlu's cheap, eSun's pretty good quality, iWeColor, they're cool. They're cool colors. So that's pretty much what I would say, to be fair. You can go for more expensive brands, like if you want really good quality filament, then like Polymaker or Filamentum are both really good. But to be honest with you, everything I print is pretty much in Sunlu, or we have a little bit of eSun line.
We very rarely have coloured PLA. You know, we do big stuff. We just use grey or black.
Yeah. So, yes, I know 3D Jake. I've actually had a few conversations with 3D Jake over the years. He's a lovely guy, does really nice filament. We just don't use it. It's not because the filament's bad or anything like that. We just don't use it. Oh, go on. Have I nailed this bed level right out of the gate? I can't be that good, can I? Leave some ladies for the rest of us, James. Look at that. Oh, I'm not going to lie. That's really good. Oh, yeah, that's done really well right out of the gate. Filamentum is also really good. So, actually, I'll tell you a really good one. Azure Film, Azure Film. They do some really cool colors. The only caveat I'll make to that is that if you start using filaments with glitter in them or with carbon or with any of that kind of stuff, just bear in mind you're going to wear out your nozzles quicker. So I actually have down here, this is eSun's. Yeah, this is eSun's Rainbow Glow-in-the-Dark filament. If I print this spool,
glow in the dark is basically a drill.
Yeah, I will blow through a brass nozzle doing this entire spool.
Way before you get to the end of that roll.
Yeah, I'll blow through a nozzle doing that. If you're doing things like glow in the darks or you're doing stuff that's got glitter in it, I really would advise that you get a harder nozzle. So either a carbon fiber, you can get carbon nozzles.
Or just know that you're going to kill a nozzle with a print.
Yeah, or just know you're going to blow through a nozzle by printing it, because you probably are. I'm just having a look. Oh, I'm not being funny. I have absolutely smashed that bed level. Like, I've smashed that. If you got out a textbook and you were looking at it and they were like, oh, this is what a bed level is, it'd just be a picture of this. I don't know how you turn the light on. Is there a button? Yes. Now it is illuminated.
Oh, I like that. That's pretty cool.
3D HP, your Green Goblin is awesome. Thank you very much, Jerry. It is, isn't it? It's actually one of the cleaner paint jobs that I've done.
It's just a shame you can't see his face.
Yeah, it's a shame you can't see his face up there. but he's probably one of the cleaner paint jobs that I've done. His face is a little pinker than I would have liked. I'm not 100% on the flesh tone. The problem is that when you're painting stuff like that, I mean, there's a good 30, 40 hours in printing something, in painting something like that. And frankly, there comes a point where you just have to sort of go, I'm done with this bit, because otherwise you just keep touching it and touching it and touching it. And then, especially with me, I'm just increasing the likelihood of me dropping something or spilling it, or like knocking my hand or sneezing halfway through, or falling asleep because I'm bored or whatever. And I just, yeah. So I really just don't want to, something painting wise, airbrush set is a standard Amazon. Okay, so yes, it is, Peter. So when it comes to airbrushes, Mike, if you just hold up your airbrush, can you? I suppose you can't do that, can you? You can't just hold up your airbrush tank.
The tank?
Yeah, the compressor.
No.
Okay, so the compressor that you want,
cabled in.
No, it's fine. So that's all right. The compressor that you want is one that has 2 tanks. And what that is the compressor on top and a holding tank on the bottom. You need the holding tank. And the reason why is because the holding tank will give you consistent pressure whilst you're spraying. So if you just get one that is just the small compressor and it's sort of, I suppose, providing air in real time, so it's compressing it and then putting it straight through, the problem you'll have is that you'll get peaks and troughs where it will splutter, or you just won't get consistent air pressure. But to be fair, Fender, I think, are the ones that are on on Amazon.
There's loads of different makes, but you'll see they're basically all identical. They're just the same compressor, just rebranded with different names.
Not like a Sparmax thing. I don't know what a Sparmax thing is. Let me hold on. Oh, right. No. Hold on. Let me just have a look. Well, I mean, they've got some very impressive pictures. Not really showing the actual compressor, which is not that helpful. So I think theirs, if I'm honest with you, is more like a, it's more for much bigger, or it seems to be anyway. It seems to be for like a much bigger spray, like for spraying canvases. And that's not really what you want. I'm just having a look. Pressure gauge, zero maintenance, oilless piston. Yeah, fine. Yeah, Max Pro. Yeah, I think that's providing. I mean, yeah, that's not what I would buy. So let me just look up the brand name, because I'm sure it's Fender. Yeah. So if you look on Amazon, there's a Fender FENGDA. It's called the FD186K. So you'll see there's a black tank and a silver tank on top. The silver tank is the compressor. The black tank underneath is where it stores all of the pressure, all of the air, so that when you're spraying, it can keep up. That's really what you want. You want the FD186K. So that's the kind of thing. That's the kind of thing you want. I finally ordered an a tank compressor combo coming today. Tired of the compressor type. Yeah. So as I say, without the, or go to Aldi or Lidl. Yeah, I think Aldi or Lidl do actually do some, to be honest. Yeah. Kane, you probably can't post. You probably can't post links in the chat. But that's not your fault. I just don't think it lets you. Hold on. Can I enable that? No. TimberTech. Let me have a look. TimberTech airbrush kit. Okay, so for the TimberTech, you would want the ABP ST06 or the 08. So not the 05. You can see the difference between the two. The 05 is just the compressor. The 06 and the 08 have both got the black tanks on them. They're what you want. They'll just be better. That's the one. It's just, yeah. And to be clear, I'm not specifically saying that the Fender one is great. I've got a Fender one. It works fine. They're all the same. They're all
they're just rebranded.
Yeah, they all just come out of the same factory. Like, it's not, I'm not saying one's like amazing or anything like that. I mean, don't be wrong. If you've got the money, you can buy like an Iwata one or something like that, but you'll drop like 350 quid. And frankly, it won't be any different. Like ABOST, hold on. It's the ABPST, the 7 and the 8. No, the 6 and the 8. The 7 is a smaller one. The 7 is still just a compressor. It's the ABP ST06 or the ABP ST08. We need the black tanks on them underneath. I'm just going to see if I've got a drink in my little fridge. And I do. Okay. Looks like I'm drinking cider. Probably get a strike for that now. Oh, I'll tell you what, it's doing a tidy little job. So the Sprite extruder, because it's direct drive, they've re-engineered how they do their how they're doing their cooling fans and all that sort of stuff. I mean, I'll not lie, this machine, certainly on the face of it, is ticking a lot of boxes. Now, obviously, I've had nothing go wrong. I have heard that the Sprite extruder can be quite irritating to work on, but to be honest with you, everything's irritating to work on. I just want stuff to work. That's why I've got a Bamboo Labs. It's great. I got the 6 in the basket. Yeah, the 6. Yeah, that's right. The AB. Yeah, that'll work. The 6. So yeah. So I say it's doing what it needs to do. I mean, it's now 12 minutes in, 25% done. Looks like it's doing a nice job, to be honest. Comes with a little drawer. Oh, the drawer comes out. Oh, seriously? They invented the drawer and they include a spatula, and the spatula doesn't fit. Brilliant. Oh my God. What are the chances of that? Look, the drawer's pretty useful, I guess, because you can
everything
not your spatula. So there we go. No, spatula does not fit in there. Cool. Right, fine. Oh, there we go. Goes back in. Cool. We'll pop the... can't wait to see what Bamboo does next. So I have seen, much like I'm sure a number of other people have seen, the announcement that came out from Bamboo Labs today about the P1P. So I have seen a couple of photographs that have been knocking about. And before people get massively excited, it looks like what Bamboo are doing next is a budget version of their X1. That's what it looks like. So it's not going to be massive. It doesn't look it anyway. There's only 3 things that I think it could be. Okay, so we'll dive straight into completely unsubstantiated theories, right? This is the result of a fever dream that I had 6 minutes ago. Okay, so there's only one of 3 things I think it can be: either a budget level machine, so that will be made of plastic parts. It will probably go slower, but it will still have the original extruder on. You probably won't be able to use the AMS, but maybe you can. But the build volume will be the same, right? And the reason they'll be releasing that is to compete directly by undercutting most sort of prosumer level machines that are in the market at that point, right? That if you buy the X1 rather than the X1 Carbon, you can already get it cheaper than a Prusa Mark III anyway. This would be the final nail in that coffin, right? If they brought out a cheaper version than that. Okay, so that's number 1. Number 2 would be an IDEX. I don't think they're going to do an IDEX. And the simple reason I don't think they're going
Not
to
if
do an
it's the
IDEX
same size build plate.
is because it would probably, well, they'd probably have to go a bit wider because it would be an IDEX, but they already are doing the AMS, right? So there wouldn't really be any point in doing an IDEX because the IDEX would be slightly larger, but would do less colors because you couldn't really do an IDEX with the AMS on top. So I don't know. And then mystery option number 3 is that they do something bigger. They have really only just started shipping properly the X1s and the X1s carbons. So they've fulfilled all the Kickstarters. They're starting to fill a lot of the pre-orders. There are a lot of people who are unhappy about machines that are going out and whatever, that they're not getting them as quickly as they wanted. I think it's unlikely they'd immediately come in and immediately start doing a bigger version of the machine. If I'm honest, I just don't think they're going to do that. Hold on. There we go. No, that one. There we go. Yeah. I want them to do a bigger version. 256 by 256 for me is really something that I just don't want. They ship out of Texas, so they've got a lot of shipping partners, Jerry. That they've got loads. So there's 2 in Southampton here. Weirdly, they've actually got different shipping partners for the accessories than they do for the actual printers, which is a bit odd. But yeah, they've got a lot of different partners. So yeah, that's one of the 3 things. It'll either be a cheaper version, which I think is more likely. It will be an IDEX, which I just don't think they'll do. Or it will be a bigger version. So Jerry's saying 300 by 300 or 350 by 350. I think they'd have to go to 350. And the reason I'm saying that is that 256 by 256 to 300 really isn't that much of a jump. And the sheer amount of re-engineering you would have to do to make that machine physically larger, I don't think it's worth it for 300 by 300. I just don't think it's worth it. I think they would need to go 350 cubed. And I think that's where they'd need to be. The problem is that 350 cubed, I think you're looking at $2,000 at that point. And when you're looking at things like, I don't know, things like the Rat Rig or things like the Voron that are already out there that are that much less, that's a big ask. I don't know. I really hope they do go bigger, because I have to say, so I did all of the glider. All of that was done on the Bamboo, and I haven't seen print quality like that.
Well, you printed a piece for me the other day, didn't you?
Have you got it?
I have, but I think I've primed it.
Well, it's fine. If it's just got a coat of primer on it, just put it up to the camera. See whether or not you can actually see this. So this is the primed base printed in one piece on the Bamboo Labs. And it is stunning. It's stunning.
The rest of it has all been printed resin.
Yep. I can't see a flaw in it. I can't see layer lines. I can't see gradient lines. Can't see any of it.
Brilliant.
So I'm in love with my Bamboo Labs. Oh, hold on. I'm absolutely in love with my Bamboo Labs. I think that it's one of, if not the best, consumer level 3D printer that you can buy on the market right now. I don't think there's anything else that you can buy that would produce better quality than that. It's not perfect. It is loud.
So if you have a look at it, that print you just did for me, I sliced it on my longer LK5 and the Sidewinder X2. Came out at
Yes.
2 days and 21 hours
Yeah.
on a 0.12 layer height.
Yeah.
James printed it on the Bamboo on a 0.16 layer height, and it came out in 14 hours.
Yeah. And it took about, to be fair, it took about 16 in the end. I'll have your 2.4 now. You're in love with the X1. Carl, honestly, mate, if it worked, I'd give it to you. So this is where we're at on the channel, right? You guys have enabled us, and to be clear, it has entirely been down to the support that's been shown to us by the community, by people watching our videos, liking, subscribing. If you are watching and you aren't already subscribed, please do so.
Shame on you.
Shame on you for not subscribing just to begin with. But we have had now machines, the Rat Rig, the Voron, the Bamboo Labs, the M3, the X1, all of them. We've had machines that we would not have had access to otherwise. It is completely and utterly down to the support that you as a community have given us. And Carl has actually been a huge part of that. So Carl, since the very beginning, has been sharing our videos, has been commenting, has been inviting us on live streams.
He's also taken over all our social media.
He's also taking over a lot of our social media. Yes. So because Carl is northern and therefore doesn't really have a lot to do, we have brought Carl into. Hi, Jerry's wife. So we have brought Carl into the Honey Badger group, and Carl will be taking over our TikTok, and he'll be taking over our Instagram for a few reasons. One, every time I say "What's up, TikTok," I think I might feel like I'm 75 years old.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for you to start doing a dance.
I haven't done any of the dances yet. Luckily, I don't think we have to worry about that with Carl either, because I think if he was to dance, his entire spine would explode. So that's not a concern that I necessarily have. But at the same time, Carl is taking over our socials because both me and Mike work full time alongside doing this. I've made a point before. Both me and Mike, we don't make any money out of this channel. We get free stuff, and invariably, we actually give that free stuff away. Which brings me quite nicely on to the next point. So you guys have been hugely supportive of us. The community that we've been a part of has been a huge deal to us. So we are going to be running a 10,000 subscriber giveaway. I've added it up. The prizes are just over £1,000 worth of prizes. So we will be giving away the Ender 3S1. We will be giving away the Voxel Lab D1 Pro, I think it's called, Aquila D1 Pro. But anyway, we're giving away the Voxel Lab. We're giving away a couple of we're giving away some Wicked or Berserk models. We're going to give away some merch because these are the things that get you all the ladies. So we're tired, honestly, at this point of having.
That's
all
why I
the
have to have my door shut.
Hi, 3D printer guy. We are giving away merch, so we're giving away some t-shirts, we're giving away some hoodies, we're giving away all that stuff.
We've got some Creality stuff.
Yeah, Carl's just saying the only reason I was invited because he already had a Honey Badger hoodie. You're not technically wrong, but at the same time, we like you. So there was that. And then we're also giving away, we've got one, the Mention. Maybe I should wait on buying a printer. Hey, Peter, it doesn't hurt to have two. We've got like 10. And there's still some space in that corner. Like, we could have some there. That'd be fine. Just some there. So anyway, so we've got the Mention Beagle time lapse camera. We've got the Ender 3 S1 Pro. We've got the Voxel Lab as well.
We've got the Creality touchscreen.
Well, yeah, we've got the Creality touchscreen and a CR Touch, because they're less accurate than an inductive sensor, and I don't care what anybody says. so we've then got some. We've then also got some t-shirts and some hoodies and things like that we'll be giving away. So we're going to wait until we've come back from Form Next, and then we'll publish the video announcing that, where you guys can come in and you can enter. So all you'll have to do is like the channel. If you've already liked the channel, it will enter you for that. There'll be multiple entries that you can do. You can go on like our TikTok, our Instagram, any of that stuff. Check the links out in the video description. All of our socials are already in there. So as soon as we've got any news about when we're actually launching it and how long it's going to run for, it'll all go on our socials. It will be completely free to enter, and you will be able to enter from anywhere in the world. I've said that before. It was a terrible idea. Mike's been very
if you're from anywhere other than the UK, you might win a sticker.
And even that's a maybe. Look, everybody's going into the same pot. Everybody has the same chance of winning, which is terrifying because if I had to ship this around the world, it might actually bankrupt me. But who knows? So we'll see. I sprayed a candy blue the other day of gloss black, and I forgot to I don't know what that means. I sprayed a candy blue the other day on a gloss black, and I forgot to spray chrome first on the Mini-Me. Oh, I'm assuming it cracked. I'm assuming your paint cracked. Yeah, I hate it when that happens. And it's happened to me a lot. Way more than I'm happy with.
Is he saying he meant to spray, he sprayed it gloss black, forgot to spray the chrome and just sprayed the blue on it?
No, I think I sprayed a candy blue the other day.
Candy goes on top of a chrome.
Oh, so what you'd sprayed the chrome... No, just really dark, not...
Yeah,
okay.
You sprayed the black, then the chrome, then the candy.
And then he went straight to candy blue, but he didn't put the chrome up. Right, okay, fair enough. I get you. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, that sucks. Especially because the more layers you're going to add, that's going to be a problem. Okay, yeah. I've done it more than once. I've had a lot of overspray. I'm running out of space everywhere, obviously. But I'm also running out of space where we actually do a lot of our printing, where we do a lot of our painting, or I do a lot of my painting, I should say.
Oh, you are.
Yeah. And yeah, it's a real problem. Like, I'm getting overspray onto old models or onto other stuff, or when I come out of the summer house, especially when I was painting him, I coughed up some absolutely horrendous stuff. Like the purple day was a pretty bad day. That was alarming. It was like I'd been drinking Thanos. That was very, very bad. The green day was just really more alarming more than anything else. Like if a doctor had seen it, he'd have had to written a little paper about it. It'd have been like, this is medically fascinating. It looked like radioactive goo. It was terrible. So that really wasn't very good. The flesh tone one was fine because the flesh tone just went on my own flesh tone and it just looked the same color. So that was all right because I'm a little pink. You make your prints too big. If you stuck to 100%, you'd have more room. Do you know what, Carl? I don't come to your house and say stupid stuff. So I don't really understand why you're here saying these things to me. I'm always nice when I say things about you. Like the other day, I said that if you coloured in your head black, you'd look like Mr. Ben from the 70s film. And I thought that was really nice that your head could look like a bowler hat. But now you're coming at me with all these scale issues, and I don't see what I don't see why we've suddenly got a problem. You've got a right head on you since you've got those social passwords. I noticed you changed them as well, so I don't think I'm not keeping an eye on you. My spray box is a fan, but I need to wear a mask. Yeah, I don't do that.
Spray boxes are for
There's the strike for your video. Yeah, that'll do it. You already vetoed half the stuff I was going to say at the beginning of the videos, so I'm left with all the rubbish stuff now. I haven't got any passwords yet. Oh,
yeah, we keep having conversations where we go, "Have you given Cole the passwords?" And then James goes, "I thought you were giving them to him."
Oh no! Was I supposed to do that?
Yeah.
I was supposed to do that. I didn't do it. Okay. All right. I'll send you a message, Carl. It's fine. Just going to be me, Carl, and Mark Zuckerberg with the passwords to our socials. It'll be fine. Although the way that Mark Zuckerberg's going, our socials might actually make more money than Metaverse does this year. I think he's something like 20 billion in the hole for this year. Savage. Almost done. Oh, that is a bit of a dim screen, isn't it? you turn the screen up? Oh, okay. It just lights up more when you touch it. Okay. So it's got like a power saving mode on the screen. Cool. And the rest. I don't know how much Metaverse has lost this year, but I know that if I lost that amount, people would be asking a lot of questions. Like, I'll get really annoyed when change falls out my pocket down the sofa, and I'm like, oh, I'm never going to find all of that. And I think he's lost it's a lot that he's lost. I'll say this: it does look good. Pushing the no, I know that at the beginning of the when he first went public, I know that it was valued at $1 trillion, and I know that he's lost. I think they're down to like 300 million in value now. But I don't know. I mean, there's actually money that he's losing, not just share value, but it's like money. Like he's actually burning it at both ends. I feel like, and I hate comparing in this way because he's basically a ventriloquist puppet that came to life. But like, I feel like when Tony Stark announced that his weapons company weren't going to be making weapons anymore, and then his stock crashed, and he was like, it'll all be fine. And then by like the 19th film, he was still somehow a billionaire. Like, that seemed to just sort of work out. And I feel like he watched it and he just went, no, I'm just going to change what Facebook does now. We're just going to make an entire metaverse. And he just thought it was all just going to work out. Like, I feel like he just sort of went, it'll probably be fine. Done. Warning. Hot surface. Oh, I tell you what. That's... Oh, it's warm. What was that bed set at? 60. That was very warm. Okay. So, just to prove that I'm not a complete mong, hold on, which I'm appreciating is rare, you can see that there's no scarring on that at all. That was a pretty bang-on bed level for me, if I'm honest. So I'm well happy with that. Ow, I've got my finger caught in the side. So now, if we zoom in and we go, hold on. There we go, look at that. So you can see this is the color shift. And it goes between black and red, and there's like a cool purple in the middle. But so that's the first layer. So bear in mind that if you're printing on this gold side, you're not going to get that sort of glass finish because it's not glass. But that's with nothing on, right? I've not put any.
That's a nice cube.
Any adhesive on that or anything else. So that's a really nice first layer. There's really, hold on. There we go. Really nice sides. Perhaps a couple of extra walls because you can see some of the infill coming through. But this is just their stock profile. So that, for a calibration cube, for a machine that has received absolutely no calibration, is pretty good. There's a little bit, I don't know if you can see on that, there's a little bit of ghosting on the Y. And that wasn't going particularly quickly. So I'd need to take a look at what we're looking at for print speeds, because I don't know what let's just have a look and see what they were printing at in the slicer. So speed. So that was printing at 50 millimeters a second on the infill, 25 millimeters a second on the walls, and 125 millimeters for the travel speed. So we might just need to go and play about a little bit in tightening some of the wheels up and tightening some of the belts, but that is an excellent first print. I think a lot of people will be very happy if their machines was doing that. To be clear, I wasn't under the impression this was going to be a bad machine right out of the gate. Most Ender 3s actually work fairly well out of the box at the moment. What I would say is it'll be interesting to see what happens in like 4 months. By which point we'll have given it away. So it will be an interesting point that we won't have to make. But but somebody might be really angry. I don't know who they'll be, but I really hope they live close because I really want to walk this round to their house rather than having to post it for obvious reasons. So we are going to leave the stream there. That is the machine unboxed and printing inside of 25 minutes. It did everything it said it should. We had it all leveled and everything else. We did the first print of a calibration cube. It came out really nicely. The link in the video description to Geek Buyer, if indeed you want to go and buy your own. Again, to be clear, that is not an affiliate link. We do not get any kickback from that. Creality didn't even send us this machine. Geek Buyer did. So when we do our review, which will come out in probably about 2 weeks, because we'll be it'll be in Germany next week, and I'm not taking it with me because it'll be a nasty thing to carry on. Once we've done the review, you will get a completely honest review of what we think of it. First impressions are that it is fairly solid out of the box. It's got dual Z's. It's got everything you would expect. They've effectively just gone through the community, had a look at all the upgrades people have done, and just put that into a machine, right? They've gone direct drive. They've improved the part cooling. They've put auto bed leveling on it. It's got a removable bed. It's got the little drawers that people used to print. It's got dual Z. It's got strain relief on the bed. It's actually got a touch screen rather than a fake touch screen, so that's really fun. It's still got a filament runout sensor. I still wouldn't run my filament off of the gantry of a machine, but that's by the by. We would set this up slightly differently. So ticks a lot of boxes. We'll wait and see how it does once we get a few more prints on it, and we'll have it running for the next few days. I'll put on a nice long print whilst we're away so that we can do a few more bits and bobs. But thanks for joining us, guys and dolls. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Please make sure that you check out the other videos on the channel. We've just released The Green Goblin. It took up an awful lot of my life, and my wife doesn't really talk to me a lot anymore. So please like the videos so that it was for something. Because otherwise, I just sort of really threw something away that could have been quite special in my marriage for like 1,000 views, and that doesn't really feel like that's enough. So watch it like multiple times. Make your kids watch it, but on their own YouTube links. Like get them to sign up for YouTube, get them to like it and subscribe, and then get them to watch it. You know, be fun. It's a fun thing. So anyway, we'll be announcing our competition soon, and there'll be some big videos coming out next week of everything we see at Form Next. But thank you for joining. We'll catch you on the next one. Stay safe, guys.
Bye.